Hi you guys, it's me Arden Lee. I'm back with another video, and in today's video I want to talk a little bit about the nature of transformation, what it is, and even more specifically what it isn't, and how sometimes we can fall into the trap of thinking that we have really attained empowerment, sovereignty, freedom from our unconscious programming, our former patterns, by switching up the outside without really examining what's going on the inside. I want to talk a little bit about what that looks like, where I see it show up, and what that difference really is all about. If you're not yet familiar with me or my work, my name's Arden Lee. I'm the creator of the Repatterning Project. We're an 8-week course where we examine our patterns. We do that deep inner work that actually makes for these great changes across all aspects of our lives by really going in deep and seeing what it is on that fundamental level that motivates us, that causes us to feel one way or another about things, that causes us to allow ourselves certain possibilities while shutting ourselves out from other possibilities, that informs our choices, our habits, our decisions that we make on a daily basis. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, go ahead and check out the description box. I have a link to a free PDF guide about the Repatterning Project, and also a link to the Repatterning Parlor, which is the free Facebook group that I moderate. We would love to see you there. Come join us. If you're interested in learning more about this work and getting some support, come say hi. We're very friendly. So let's talk about transformation. What I really want to say about this is I notice so many aspects of the spiritual community, and you'll notice, you know, if you're watching this video right now, you probably notice that I'm dressed pretty goth. I'm in a Black Craft Cult t-shirt that says "No heaven, no hell, just black cats," and I'm wearing some pretty dark lipstick, and I don't look like your typical spiritual community person. I look a lot like I did before I started my spiritual awakening. The only thing that's really different, you guys, is I wear much more comfortable clothing, less expensive clothing too. My outward appearance has changed a little bit and I tend to wear a lot more like flowy, comfortable things now, more like yoga clothing a little bit, but if you could call this yoga clothing. But that's because I'm feeling more of my body lately, and my body is craving things that drape and flow and don't constrict me. I'm no longer the person who's, who just wants to wear high heels all the time. Oh my God. When I was in college, you guys, I used to like walk to my studio. I was at NYU. I used to walk to my studio classes, like all the way from 5th Avenue all the way to 10th Avenue in high heels, just because I was like impressing people, thought I was impressing people or whatever, for the wrong reasons, obviously. So yeah, that has changed about me. But overall, there hasn't been a lot of change to my outward appearance. I still do my makeup very much the same way. There's changes in my spirit that you can notice, I hope anyway, for those who have eyes to see, right? The way that I express myself is freer. I feel more organic, my spirit is more fully inhabiting my body. That's very, very cool. But you'll notice that I didn't really, my friendships have gotten to be more quality, but, and I've exposed myself to a lot of different kinds of people that I maybe didn't previously, and certainly the spiritual community in Southern California has absolutely had an effect on me. But you'll also notice that, I really haven't changed a lot of my social circles. I still hang out in a lot of the same crowds, even if the people that I resonate with in those circles have perhaps changed. A lot of the friendships that I had previously have fallen away because they're no longer in alignment with who I was becoming, and I've made new friendships in those circles, and that's great. And some friendships have stayed and they've upgraded because maybe both of us were changing at the same time, and we changed in ways that worked for with one another, whatever. But what I want to talk about is that I sometimes um, I see a lot of people, especially in the spiritual communities, who are like really gung ho about transformation as a buzzword, but I'm like, what are you transforming? What's the issue that you're looking to solve? If transformation is the thing that you're doing, then there's something in your current state of being that you're not happy with, that needs to be transmuted, that needs to be changed, that you are calling to feel, to you are feeling that call to be changed into something else. But a lot of times I just see people who get really into the social mores of the spiritual community and aren't actually changing anything. Now, there's nothing wrong with this, because a lot of the spiritual community is great, and a lot of it will give you a lot of really good teachings. You'll pick up things from your yoga classes, or you'll start eating more healthy, and that's great. You know, those are changes that doubtless over time will have some sort of an effect on your being. If you just decide to take up a yoga practice today, and you decide to do yoga once a week, and that's the only thing that you change, I'm sure that over time your yoga practice will add a lot to your life. It's yoga for a reason, right? It's beneficial. There are things like yoga and meditation absolutely have tangible benefits. And yet, is it transformation? Is it enlightenment? Enlightenment is a misnomer, you guys. I've said this before, but enlightenment is heavy as fuck. Enlightenment, Adyashanti writes about enlightenment. Adyashanti says, enlightenment is a destructive process. It has nothing to do with becoming better or being happier. It is the crumbling away of everything that we thought to be true. If you're not seeing your world fall down around you, you're probably not really transforming. That's okay. Not everyone has to transform. But I see a trend sometimes of people who get into the spiritual community and they take on its trappings. Especially, I see this everywhere. But one particular example is, I made a post about on Facebook today. I said every spiritually conscious man with a yoga pose and a man bun or long flowing hair or ponytail has a picture of themselves with a crew cut holding a solo cup if you scroll back far enough. And what I see in this example is I see an archetype of person who stumbles upon a community and vibes with something in it, or maybe gets into it because of a friend, and starts adopting the mantles that it presents: the yoga pants, the hairstyles, the yoga body, the green juice, the prayer positions, the mudras, the tribal markers, and that's great, because if you're gonna take on the energy of a certain archetype, that's generally a very healthy one to choose, right? I, for a long time, chose, the archetype of the rock and roll scene, which meant shooting a lot of whiskey and staying up late and having a lot of, a lot of, I was going to say casual sex, and I was like, no. And I was going to say meaningless sex, and I was like, no. But a lot of, like, a very specific energetic signature of sex. it may have not been casual. It may have even been meaningful for me, but I was having it in like the stairwell, like the dirty stairwell of like outside of music practice room or whatever. It was like it was not a conducive environment to healthy and connected sex, even if it was meaningful for me because it was part of a story that I was telling or whatever. So sure, if you're going to take on the energetic signature of a particular archetype, yeah, there are worse things to do than getting into yoga and eating healthy and being conscious of your body. That's great. Those are undoubtedly going to have positive benefits over the time in which you do them. So that's great. But is it transformation? Now, maybe you don't have to transform anything. Maybe you're perfectly happy with things the way that they are, and that's great. And you just want to do your yoga and drink your green juice, and that's it. Awesome. Cool. As I've said it many times before, I'm a big believer in free will. But please don't fool yourself into thinking that that's transformation. Because real, genuine transformation, real, deep, radical, transformative work is really about taking responsibility for the results that you're creating. Radical self-honesty about the things that you believe and the things that you're choosing. Radical accountability for your choices. And desiring the truth, desiring your authenticity, desiring your soul path more than anything else. So that's really my question today is joining a new social circle and taking on its trappings really transforming you? On some level, joining a new social circle absolutely is a way that we can anchor in new beliefs. I've talked about this before. It's one of the 4 ways that our beliefs form. It's how cults happen, right? We always think like, why would you drink the Kool-Aid? Why did you do that? Well, you join a social circle, and if that group is powerful enough, it can absolutely alter your beliefs. So yeah, over time, that can certainly happen. And yet, real soul level transformation, self-awareness, self-responsibility is so much deeper and does not require that you change so many of the external trappings. I mean, I think I'm proof of that, yeah, I'm sitting here making a video about transformation, and I'm wearing a Black Craft Cult t-shirt and a black choker and super dark lipstick. I'm not, there's a really big difference between doing your inner work and joining a community that claims to be all about enlightenment. And the bigger that those communities become, the more spaces there are in those communities to actually hide from the work that you're supposed to be doing. Because the more and more people who join them, the more you're going to find corners where, just as an example, I know a lot of people have seen this. I know I've seen it in many communities where there's blind spots about racism, about privilege, about misogyny, about systemic injustice. And it's not enlightenment, y'all. It's just not. If you're not seeing the truth, yes, we're all one, we're all connected. But if you're not seeing, if you're not really willing to dismantle this is why. If you're not willing to dismantle the things around you that you were brought up to believe to be true, then it's not really enlightenment. That's why, In the ancient mystery schools, you needed to knock 3 times before a teacher would answer for you, because it is a perilous path. It is the crumbling away of everything that you thought to be true. Nobody ever tells you that. Well, maybe they do, but you can't really possibly know it before you actually do it. So this is my invitation to you. If you are someone who is interested in transformation and really, really interested, and you want to take that big plunge, I invite you to go beyond the outward appearance of transformation, the brand of transformation, because there's so much more to it than that. And chances are you may even find that your real true self doesn't even really like the green juice that much. Maybe doesn't want to do yoga, you know? Maybe decides like, hey, the way I'm going to keep my body nimble and agile is pole dance. I don't know, whatever. You know, whatever that relationship is. A shaman once told me that medicine songs can come in any genre. And for me, being a musician, I have a band called Arden and the Wolves. If you're not familiar with that, I'd love for you to check it out. I absolutely believe that. I write a lot of songs, especially now, about this process of transformation, about enlightenment, about what it really is to destroy everything that you know around you and wake up in a world that you don't recognize. And I do it in the indie rock genre. So it really doesn't matter ultimately what it looks like on the outside, as long as your spirit is filling it. That's the great thing too, you guys. We have so many choices in terms of our path, right? We have so many different places where we can do this. I've seen people who are not connected to the spiritual community, in, you know, to my knowledge, in the ways that I might have, you know, see other people connected to it, or in the ways I might be connected to it myself at all, who are doing the work. We're doing the work through other programs, through other modalities, through other ways and means of healing. You can, you know, whether it's therapy, whether it's somatic work, whether it's, you know, group programs, whether it's whatever works, whether it's chaos magic, you know, there's plenty of people who are also in the chaos magic communities who are not doing the transformative work either, but it doesn't matter what the outside of it looks like. So essentially that's what I want to talk about today is don't be fooled by thinking that transformation looks like a subculture. That's really it. Don't be fooled by thinking that transformation just looks like joining a subculture. You can join a subculture for the purpose of doing your transformation, but it's going to be more work than just joining it and doing the things and like being like, hey guys, what's everyone else doing? All right, I'll follow along. It's not going to be that. It's going to be a deep internal process of your own. It's going to be extremely personal. It's not going to look like anyone else's path, probably. So keep that in mind. If you want to do the real transformative work, I'd love to chat with you. We start the repatterning project again June 30th. You can come in your yoga pants or not in your yoga pants, or you can wear no pants at all because it's an online course. So whatever makes you happy. Would love to chat about that with you. So reach out to me if you're feeling that call. Thank you guys for listening, and I will see you guys in the next video.